Hey everyone. First I want to say, in these new videos I'm doing, I'm trying to be more respectful. I will try to not insult or call names or, act like a teenager. I'm going to try. I'm still talking about Genesis. Let's just go through it chronologically here. Alright, so God created the earth, all this stuff. I'm sure we all know the accounts of Genesis, the 6-day creation theory, which is stupid. Alright, then God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night." Continuing on, then God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. God set them in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, to divide the light from the darkness. This is obviously a complete misunderstanding of the way that the world works. What separates the light from the darkness is the Earth's rotation. We now know that to be true. Apparently back when they wrote these books, they had no idea. They were so arrogant, actually, as to think that the sun revolved around the Earth and not the other way around. So this is a horrible, horrible explanation for the division of light and dark, which is really just an illusion here on Earth. Continuing on. Oh, all right. So now it's talking about we're still before the seventh day here. Okay. So God created man in His own image. In the image of God He created him, male and female. He created them. Then God blessed them. Okay. Right now it's talking about two people. Two. Male and female, He created them. Then God blessed them, and He said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." Now we continue on. Okay. Alright, so now I'm in Genesis 2. Apparently this is after the earth is created. Thus the heavens and the earth, and most of them were finished. And on the seventh day God ended His work which He had done. He rested on the seventh day from all His work. Now we get down into here, and it's given the implication that Eve she doesn't exist yet. So He's going back on His claim that He created two people. Right now He says, "And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living being." Okay, so now it goes on to say God planted a garden, talking about the Garden of Eden, how great it is. Then the Lord took man and put him in the garden to tend and keep it. Of every tree of the garden you shall eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die. Now, I tried to explain this in another video. You guys don't get it. In the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die. In the day you eat of it, you shall surely die. How else can you misinterpret that and say, oh, well, God didn't intend for man to die until he disobeyed? That's pathetic, because there also, like I explained in my other video, there also is the tree of life. Okay? One has nothing to do with the other. Okay? One is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. One is the tree of life. If he had eaten from the tree of life, he could have lived forever. So obviously it wasn't already in him to be immortal. Duh. Okay, and then it goes on to say that he created Eve. Okay, so we have Genesis 1:28. Genesis 1:28. Then God blessed them, and He said, "Be fruitful and multiply." And then it says, and then the Lord, Genesis 2:7. Then the Lord formed man out of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. So, if man didn't exist until this point, and he didn't become a living being to this point, why is God saying to them, "Be fruitful and multiply"? Is He just talking to dead corpses that are on the ground that He had created, and then He got rid of Eve to create her again out of Adam's rib? Another big gaping hole in the story. Now let me make this last point. We're talking about Genesis chapter 3. The temptation and fall of man. Alright, if you're going to believe this story, you basically have to believe that God is a liar Yahweh is a liar. The book of the Old Testament is a liar and a murderer. I'm not going to talk about how genocidal and psychopathic he is. That's for another time. I'm talking about his honesty, because I've already explained, "In the day you eat of it, you shall surely die," is a quote from God, supposedly according to Moses. But then he goes in here, and the devil, we can dispute whether or not it's the devil, the serpent comes up, and he actually tells Eve the truth. He says, "Then the serpent said to the woman, 'You will not surely die, for God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like God, knowing good from evil.'" Now, the way we back that up is we go over here to Genesis 3:22. "Then the Lord God said, Behold, man has become like one of us, to know good and evil. And now lest he put out his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat forever, therefore the God sent him out of the garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was taken." Alright, so right here what I'm seeing is the serpent told the truth, whereas God had told a lie. And now that God said, "Behold, the man has become like one of us," to know good and evil. Okay, so it's knowing good and evil, not being disobedient, and it's basically just jealousy. And God admits that He's jealous. So please explain to me how you can say that the devil is a liar, that the serpent is a liar, and that he deceived Eve, when really it was God telling the lie all along.